Thanks for the invitation to present my paper on gender and financial misconduct, a field experiment in mobile money. So I guess the question this paper tries to get at is whether gender matters for financial misconduct. And the long and short answer is going to be a yes. Misconduct, which is defined to be indicative or suggestive of fraud and wrongdoing, is prevalent in many economic and financial transactions, yet it remains a sufficiently less understood issue or phenomenon. To that end, we design a field experiment that allows us to study both the nature and gender differences in misconduct. And we're going to do this by drawing on the market for mobile money in Ghana. More generally, our focus on gender is motivated by rich evidence suggesting significant gender differences in market-driven primitives, including differences in risk attitudes to competition and beliefs, among others. Why is this important? I guess it's important for two reasons. One is that misconduct can be discriminatory. It can also be inefficient. And we can argue that such effects are likely to be particularly important in developing country settings where the formal institutions are weak and arguably consumers are vulnerable and financially less sophisticated. There are two key barriers to studying this question. The first is that data on misconduct is unavailable. Perhaps it's difficult to measure or track misconduct. And even if data is available, just as we have in the case of the US, then observed market transactions might reflect the endogenous matches between the relevant market participant, making it hard to cleanly isolate the gender effects with regards to misconduct. So before I tell you about the design, let me basically clarify what is mobile money. In a simple sense, mobile money is a human ATM. These markets are made up of vendors and consumers cash in and cash out money transactions at this vendor banking point. A key nice feature about mobile money is that the tariffs or charges that consumers pay on transactions are ex ante set by the providers. So in terms of design, we begin by reconstructing a unique census of the market for mobile money across 137 low-income environments or communities in Ghana. Next, we propose an audit study whereby consumers or auditors were given actual cash to make actual transactions on mobile money. With this, we define misconduct to entail all transactions that were overcharged by referencing the mandated rates for these transactions. Our approach has several advantages, and in the interest of time, I've listed them on this slide at the bottom part. So basically, in our experiment, we randomize the matches between the vendors and the consumers by gender. With this design, we document three important sets of results. As illustrated respectively, first, we find evidence for significant gender misconduct gap, showing that female vendors are about 10 percentage points more likely to commit misconduct relative to their male counterparts. Second, relative to a mismatch, we found that female vendors are about 8 percentage points more likely to cheat customers of their gender. On the other hand, male vendors are about 11 percentage points less likely to cheat customers of their gender, suggesting evidence of within gender discrimination for females and within gender favoritism for males. And finally, in the richer model, we do find evidence that both vendors or market vendors, regardless of their gender, overcharge female customers much more compared to their male counterparts. So what explains this set of results? Appealing to theory and rich empirical research, we explored several potential explanations or mechanisms, and we find evidence for two. So let me just highlight that. In particular, we found that the results are largely driven by low female empowerment localities. And second, we also found that beliefs about gender are also strong explanation for the kind of results that we have estimated here. So together, the results seem to suggest that female empowerment and beliefs about gender details in the paper actually are potential explanations, two major explanations that really helps us to reconcile our results. To conclude, we document new insights about gender misconduct gap and asymmetry in transactional markets. This has two immediate implications. First, our results on within gender discrimination suggests that increasing the share of females in organizations, which is often a common policy proposal to tackling discrimination, might not be effective per se. And we have some examples within the policy space and research evidence really suggests limited impacts of such policies. Second, our results suggest that pre-existing social distance, in this case, low women empowerment and beliefs about gender, can incentivize undesirable market behavior and perhaps be an important source of financial market frictions. In doing this, we contribute to several strands of distinct literature and policy that I've listed here in the interest of time. Thanks.